Hey folks, it's me, Brian. This is what I'm drinking tonight. I'm having Copper Legend, which is an Oktoberfest lager from Jack's Abbey Craft Lagers. They make a whole slew of lagers, and they come from Framingham, Massachusetts. Coincidentally, Mr. Jean-Pierre, the beverage rambler, reviewed one of their other lagers, and I happened to be in Massachusetts this past weekend and picked this up at a store called Roche Bros, a supermarket chain. When I was up there, I wanted to buy some Massachusetts slash New England beer, and I found this one. And since we're going into the season of Oktoberfest, this was a good choice. Raise your hand if it's sweltering hot where you live, yet you go into stores and you see a whole bunch of Oktoberfest beers. It was 95 or 96 today. But anyway, let's crack this one open, folks. Spoiler alert, I've already had one of these already. It came in a 4-pack. I can't remember how much I paid for it. I think I might have paid like $12.99, $13.99 for a 4-pack. So this is what it looks like. It has a wonderful presentation. It's a kind of like a amber colored beer, not particularly dark. Like if you took caramel, like a caramel, and you melted it, it wouldn't necessarily be as dark as that. So it's like an amber colored beer with a slight bit of head. It is 5.7. Let me get my spectacles out. I think it's 5.7% alcohol by volume. Yes. And it's brewed with imported Pilsner, Vienna, and Munich malts and imported Seitz family hops. Says that right on the can, if you can see that. You can see that right there. And it is decoction mashed. God knows what that means. Oktoberfest is the world's most legendary beer festival, and it deserves a legendary beer. Copper Legend is the perfect marriage of caramel, sweet toasty malts, and infinite drinkability. Raise one this fest season and be the legend. Naturally carbonated. It's a craft beer producer, and it has that logo on the can. And so let's give it a sniff. Now, I've read a review, and the review called it toasty, slightly bready. What else do they call it? Some floral hops, um, and I don't really get that. I don't get much of a smell. To be honest, the first one I had a pretty skunky smell. And this doesn't necessarily have a skunky smell like the first one I had, but this smells like grass, wet grass. Very grassy. Wouldn't call it floral because I don't believe grass is of a floral aroma. It's grass is grass. But it has a grassy smell, not a sweet malty smell. Well, let's try it for the second time. Prost, my friends. So the mouthful is kind of on the medium side. It does have a slightly malt, sweet, sugary, like dare I say, like honey taste on the front end, and a like a very very acute, bitter back end taste. It's bitter and it's long on the back end. Now, this is labeled as Oktoberfest. It doesn't say whether it's a Marzen or Fest beer. The review I read kind of said it's sort of in between. It's more Fest beer than Marzen. It has like notes of them. It has characteristics of Marzen, like the sweetness, which I do agree. But it does have that bitter, bitter, acute bitter back end. How would I rate this? Well, I give it about a 75. I think it's just an ordinary beer, ordinary fest beer slash Marzen beer. I definitely have had better. I think the better ones I've had have not so much of a bitter, hoppy taste like this one has. Um, I got to look up this Sites Family Hops to see what other beers have them and go back in memory and see if I've tasted them and see if there's a commonality to it, if they have this acute bitterness at the end that kind of lingers. But this one does, which kind of takes away from the taste. It's just too bitter for me for too long on the back end, and the sweetness on the front end is enjoyable, but I would not characterize this as infinite drinkability like they say on the can. I would say that I'd probably get sick of this after my 4 pack. I don't think I'll ever get this again. However, I did like the little logo right here, whatever you want to call it. It reminded me of the game Cubert that I played when I was younger. So there you have it, folks. Copper Legend, which is kind of a misnomer because this has only been around less than a decade company, so you couldn't necessarily be a legend. But they call it Copper Legend. It's an Oktoberfest beer. It's average at best. Would I get it again? No. Is it drinkable? Yes. Would I characterize it as infinite drinkability? No. Stay safe, stay sane, and I will see you on the next video, which will be live. I'm going live on Thursday, folks. So tune in on Thursday, let's say 8 p.m. Eastern Time.